51 years of independence. We, as a Bahamian people and a nation, are coming to witness the 51st year of our independence. Years that were filled with hardships, challenges, drastic periods of change in our archipelago in relation to the greater world. And despite it all, we as a nation remain standing tall, filled with pride of our history and eager to continue blazing forward up from that road to independence that was first established by our nation's forefathers. Ladies and gentlemen, special guests, and to our honorees, I once again bid you a pleasant good night. I am honored to speak to you all tonight at this second annual Exuma Independence Gala, representing our island's brilliant and upcoming youth and future leaders. You know, now that I've graduated, I can reminisce and say that it was just months ago that I was still a student of the Ellen Coakley High School and was learning about our nation's rich history in my civics and history classes, ranging from the downfall of the native Arawaks to the inspiring events that occurred up to our country's independence. Now, even though I will admit that these classes used to bore me a little at times, there were always recurring themes of oppression and unfairness, uncertainty, and obstacles. However, although I may not remember all the specific dates and the timeline of events if you ask me right now, I do vividly remember that there were also recurring themes and stories of a resilient people standing up for what they believed in and fighting against the subjugation that they faced. I learned of prominent individuals such as Sir Milo Butler and Sir Lyndon Pindling and Sir Randall Folks and many other elder statesmen who all played major roles in establishing the foundation of the Bahamas with an indomitable spirit of perseverance, hope, and faith. Leading important events in our history, such as Black Tuesday and the General Strike of 1958, just to name a few. It is because of these events that we are present here today, blessed to be living in a free and democratic country where the power resides with us, the people. How great. Now, looking around into what we have developed into today, you would notice that the strong spirit that brought us together those decades ago continues to be at work in our country and our beautiful island of Exuma at large today. It is definitely not a stretch to say that we as a community have come a very long way these 51 years. And although I may not be old enough to be speaking from experience, I'd like to think that I've listened to enough stories and learned enough lessons from my mentors who are a bit wiser in their years for you all to agree with me, right? Of course, we have not only seen developments in our economy and infrastructure, but also in the amount of opportunities being offered to Exumians of all ages. It is because of these advancements and the spirit of determination we have continued to uphold from our ancestors that we are inspiring continuous growth in our community. A prime example of this that deserves recognition, once again, is the Nelson A. Ranger Scholarship Funds and Golf Camps. Now, this organization has been functioning for more than a decade, almost as long as I've been living, and even though that's not a lot, I am, of course, the right age of 16. They have been working since 2009 to give opportunities to the youth like me to explore different activities which I have had the chance to participate in, such as through the free programs in tennis and golf, and by sponsoring our district spelling bees, and as well as the Art and BJC Awards. And although these may not seem too significant at a first glance, the truth is that these actions play extremely important roles in the holistic development of our youth. A quick Google search would inform you that exposing and encouraging children to pursue these extracurricular activities allows them to discover and build upon talents and skills that they might not have otherwise, and to build stronger connections with their sense of self and their learning environment. Moreover, this organization has also made it a priority to raise funds in order to give back to those struggling children and families by purchasing uniforms and even offering haircuts in order to alleviate the burdens and give them the basic necessities that they deserve. And even more than this, the organization has put an emphasis on assisting various students across Exuma from both the public and the private schools to achieve a higher education here in the Bahamas and abroad with financial aid and scholarship assistance. Now, there are many cases, sadly, where students with grand aspirations to go off to college cannot do so simply because they just cannot afford to go. It is a story that we hear many times. And the thing is that, to be quite honest, even when offered scholarships by colleges and universities for their brilliance, there is still quite a burden placed on families when it comes to travel expenses, textbooks and materials, devices, and more personal and living expenses. And I can tell you this from the process that I've been through these past months. And this is why I am extremely grateful to the Nelson Ranger Scholarship Fund for helping me to achieve my dream by assisting me in covering my expenses at Harvard as the 26th recipient of their scholarship. Thank you. And mind you, there's still more scholarships to come this summer. It is through this dedication to supporting our youth that they have given others like me the chance to explore and develop new interests. And it is because of this fund that many who were once just individuals with dreams that they thought would turn to fantasies were given that opportunity to grasp them and make them reality, bringing forth doctors, engineers, educators, accountants, economists, and the list goes on. And even now, this fund continues to encourage Exumians by hosting this wonderful Independence Gala tonight to recognize and give back to you honorees for your contributions and developments to our little but beautiful island. And for that, we truly must thank the Nelson Ranger Scholarship Fund for making all of this possible. Please give them another round of applause. And now you might be wondering the reason I'm saying all of this, and it is not just to patronize the foundation, but also to emphasize that it is not only important that we recognize and commemorate the successes and history of overcoming hardships that define our past, but that we should also utilize these experiences in shaping our future. Now, in other words, this means that just as our ancestors worked together with that unshakable spirit of freedom those many years ago, we too should continue to harbor that same spirit while working together to further build upon these first foundations of freedom that they established for future generations. And in order to accomplish this, it is extremely important that we realize that that same power of freedom that we were rightfully granted as a result of our independence continues to reside within each and every one of us. And that we can still utilize this power to free ourselves and our nations from the shackles of poverty, the shackles of crime, disease, and inaccessibility that continue to bind our minds and our society so that we may become even more free and independent. And we can achieve this grand goal simply by making efforts, no matter how big or how small they may seem, to help bring about that positive change and that impact in our community. This means not only supporting organizations like the Nelson Ranger Scholarship Fund in expanding their reach, but also supporting and uniting every sector of our community to further our own development into a dynamic and self-sustainable environment of growth. This means supporting our local businesses and thriving by promoting local services and helping to invest into a self-dependent economy. It means businesses and groups working together to organize events and programs and using their resources to give even more opportunities to Exumians. Even if you're not part of such a group or initiative, you too can contribute to the development of our island by doing simple things such as volunteering together at charity and community events, or donating materials to help make them successful like some of our honorees have done here tonight. Even something simple as attending and promoting events such as this second annual Independence Gala will help in making a positive impact in our community. And a little birdie told me that this event was sold out, so you guys are really doing your job very well. And at the end of the day, what matters is that if all of us come together, like our forefathers once did, and take those first steps toward achieving a common goal, then we will surely come to witness an even greater outcome, regardless of how small those steps may seem initially. And of course, never forget to celebrate and recognize those persons who have given back to us time and time again and contributed to our island's progression in their own respective ways, like we are tonight. We have persons being honored who have devoted themselves working in our government ministries and departments, those who have ensured that Exuma's environment and wildlife are conserved and protected, some who have dedicated themselves year after year to volunteering and organizing those local events that we love to attend. We have those who have played important roles in our island's education and the development of our youth in those various sports and activities. And of course, those who have planted seeds of inspiration and growth, which have flourished into thriving entities from which we all reap the rewards. Regardless of the various areas that you honorees here tonight have ventured into, you should know, and we all should let you know if you have not caught on by now, that you are all deserving of the praise and recognition that you all are receiving tonight. The passionate work and dedication you have displayed in contributing to the success and development of Exuma is simply exemplary, and we cannot thank you enough. It is because of you and the services that you have done for us, and some who continue to do for us, that I urge you all here tonight to take inspiration from them, motivate each other to engage with our community in the way that they have. Become an active volunteer in your community. Strive to foster a clean and productive environment. Support our local businesses and charitable entities, and encourage our youth to venture into those sports and extracurricular activities, or just aim to support them in pursuing a higher education. It is by doing all of these things that we will build upon the freedom and independence that we gained those many decades ago, as we begin to establish more successful businesses, provide more services and opportunities to Exumians, and produce more passionate and skillful athletes, doctors, accountants, and educators who, despite venturing abroad, will proudly represent us, remaining devoted to this beautiful island they have called home, and returning to further this legacy of independence while shaping a new Exuma for future generations. And as I leave you all, we're getting to the end now, I want you to remember these wise words from the late Nelson Mandela. He said, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but it is to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." Therefore, as we celebrate these past 51 years, where we as Bahamians and Exumians have strived and pushed to prosper despite the hardships and the many obstacles that we face, ranging from those national disasters to those national crises whose names I don't even need to mention, let's encourage and inspire each other in uniting each sector of our community to continue striving together for the sustained improvement and development of an even greater Exuma. Thank you.